No matter how many times I explain to my family that I have the coolest job ever, I still get questions like, why would you need so many? And, Mom, what's sitting on the counter? And I just keep telling them, I have the coolest job ever. That's all you need to know. Hey there, my name's Nicole, and as the owner of a postpartum vagina, as well as a doctor of physical therapy with a pretty good understanding of the pelvic floor anatomy, I'm in a pretty unique position to share with you exactly what the best menstrual device, that's a big word. I'm gonna go with the word cup here, even though this is technically a disc, but just for sake of ease, I'm gonna say menstrual cup. The best menstrual cup for someone that has a lower cervix. A lot of us that are postpartum actually have lower uteruses or a bladder that's in the way or different things going on that makes it hard for us to use just any old menstrual cup. So this video is specifically for people that have had trouble with menstrual cups after having their babies. Full disclaimer, I did not actually start using reusable menstrual cups until after the birth of my second son. I didn't actually know what it was like to wear a menstrual cup with a pre-baby vagina. It sounds kind of weird, but it's true. Your vagina is different after having kids. No worse, no better, just different. My experience using cups was that when I used the first cup, which was actually this Pixie cup, I bought the one that was for the low cervix after measuring my cervix. I think I want to make a video about kind of finding your cervix and how to measure it, because almost every cup that you go to, the first question they want to know is, what is the position of your cervix? And most of us are like, I don't know. So I'm going to make a video about how to check the position of your cervix, and when I do, you're going to see that linked above or in the description below. But for now, just know you need to know the position of your cervix. When I did this measurement, I found out that my cervix was pretty low, meaning it was pretty close to the entrance of my vagina hole. And that meant I needed to look into products that were specifically made for a low cervix. The first cup that I came across was this Pixie cup. It's the Luxe or Luxe kind. And so they actually have two different, like a smaller size and a bigger size, that are both made for a lower cervix. The biggest difference is that one has a little, I don't know if you can see it, but a little bigger opening than the other. So the whole circumference of the circle is a little bit bigger on this one compared to this one. So that's the biggest difference. So this is the first cup that I tried. And I really wanted to like it because it's super cute. I liked a lot of the values of the company, but what I found was that it actually felt like it was falling out by the end of the day. When I would first put it in, it felt great. I loved it. I didn't have issues with leaking, but as the day went on, it would just feel lower and lower and like it was falling out. Now, something that I read about these cups is that you can actually turn them inside out, and then you don't have the stem, or you can just straight up cut this stem off, and that'll help that falling out feeling. But for me, it was literally like this part of the cup was like falling out. When it comes to a low cervix, I didn't think the Pixie cup was actually the best option, unfortunately. After trying the Pixie cup and feeling like it just wasn't conducive to my vagina situation, I bought two other cups. Actually, I bought a cup and a disc. This is the Hello cup. This is the Moonthlies disc. So two different options here. They're very different in the way that you put them in, how they actually collect blood, and how you take them out. I'm gonna kind of give you the rundown on each, but as far as comfort with having a low cervix, this Hello cup was really great. It didn't leak when I put it in. I didn't feel anything feeling like it was falling out. If you'll notice, it does not have a stem like the Pixie cup did, so this was part of why it felt more comfortable, but it just seemed to sit up a lot better. Compared to the Pixie cup, it's just a little bit, let me get the small one. Compared to even the shortest Pixie cup, it was a little bit smaller, even not counting the stem. It came to about that ridge right there, so just a little bit, but you wouldn't believe how much that little bit made a difference. This Hello cup really stayed in, felt comfortable the whole day. It never felt like it was falling out. As far as the Moonthly disc, this also was super comfortable to get in. I did not feel like it was falling out throughout the day, and I did have a little bit of of trouble with leaking, but to be completely honest, I've only used it for one cycle, and I've heard that with this, there's quite a learning curve. So I think the leaking was probably a little bit more of a user error. I'm gonna get into that a little bit more during this review. But as far as comfort, the Moonthlies was really great. So if you have a low cervix, I would highly recommend the Moonthlies disc or this Hello Low Cervix cup. They were the best two options for me. Comfort and fit is not always the only thing that's important when we are picking out what kind of menstrual cup we're going to buy. So let's talk next about the cost. When it comes to the best bang for your buck with these cups, the cheapest option is actually the Moonthlies cup, and they actually send you two different cups. There's no option to just buy one, which I think is a really good idea because with this, you're just not sure how they're gonna fit. So they actually send you two, and for two cups, it's only $34.95. The next best bang for your buck is actually the Pixie cups. For one Pixie cup, it's gonna cost only $19.95, but for two cups, to compare that to the Moonthlies 2 discs, is going to be $34.95. I do like the fact that with the Pixie cups, there are actually two different cups made for a low cervix. You might be wondering how there could be two cups for a low cervix, because with a low cervix, we want a shorter cup. These are both actually the same height, but the circumference, or the, you know, the roundness, the whole roundness of the cup is actually bigger on one versus the other. I really liked that about these cups because I wasn't sure as a first-time user which was going to fit the best, and I found that during my heavier times, I could actually use this bigger cup, and it did feel like it was falling out a little bit more, and then I could switch to this smaller cup as I got towards the middle and end of my cycle, and the smaller cup seemed to really fit up in there, collect everything it needed to, but not feel like it was falling out as much as the bigger cup did. And the most expensive option here is actually this Hello cup. It is for only one, the cost is actually $33. If you want to buy two, it's going to cost you $47. But if you know that you have a low cervix and you know that you're going to need a shorter cup, this is actually the only option with the shorter length for the Hello cups. So there's really no need to buy two if you know that you're going to need something short. I guess you could buy two of the low cervix cups, but you really only need one because the cleaning in between is so easy. So unless you're getting one for travel, or like let's say you go between two different places and you want to always have one wherever you go without taking it back and forth, then perhaps the $47 for two would be of good value. But most likely you're just going to need one of these cups at the $33. Now that you know the cost of these cups, it's probably pretty important for you to know, is there a refund option with these different cups? And the reason that this is important is because if you are a first-time user, or maybe now you're postpartum and you're trying to figure out what kind of cup is going to work for your new vagina, you might want to have the option to return or get your money back for the cup. The Moonthlies cup and the Hello cup both say there are no returns once the package is opened, which is great in case you accidentally order and realize, I don't think I actually want to try those out. But anytime you are exchanging it because of fit, you've most likely opened the package, tried to put it in, used it for a cycle. So once you've used it and found out that it doesn't actually work, there's no opportunity to return it at that point. The Pixie brand, however, does have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and they say even if it takes you more than 30 days to decide if you like this product or not, and assumably have used it, they will issue a refund back to you if you are dissatisfied with the product in any way, which is pretty awesome because obviously they are footing the bill and not going to be able to resell it at that point. So that's pretty awesome that they offer a guarantee like that. Sometimes when we look at just the cost of something, we have to consider what are all the extras that they're going to throw in. The very best package when it comes to extras, in my opinion, was actually the Pixie cup again. I ordered the 2 cups, so they actually sent 1 bag per cup. These are not just plain Jane bags. These are very cute, a good quality bag. That was included. They also included these wipes with the Pixie cup. So these are wipes that you could go ahead and use if you were in a public restroom and you were not able to get out and rinse it. You could actually use these wipes to clean the cup. And instead of just having to use toilet paper. And they actually included a sticker as well. So if you like to put the Pixie cup sticker on your favorite coffee mug or your bumper, you could definitely do that. So a few little perks there. They did have a lot of extras included with the Pixie cup. Now the Hello cup did come with a travel bag. It's a little bit more plain, but it definitely would do the job and store your cup in a way that is going to be safe and keep it clean. And the Moonthlies actually did include 2 black bags, so 1 per disc that they sold. And again, nothing fancy, but definitely would do the trick for storing and keeping your disc nice and clean. If you are considering how pretty the cup is before purchasing, because who doesn't like to feel pretty when they're on their period, I would have to say the prettiest cup for the low cervix, again, is actually the Pixie cup. It comes in a teal and a white, and altogether I believe there were 5 different colors for their cups. I think if you were going with the low cervix cups though, you only had these 2 cup options. However, if you were going with a different cup, they did have a lot of really pretty options. The next prettiest cup, in my opinion, was the Hello cup. It's this really cute green color. They actually had 7 different colors that you could choose from throughout all their cups. However, again, if you were going with the low cervix option, this green cup is your only choice. And then the least pretty, although functional still, are these monthly discs. The only color that they came in was this red color. Since using menstrual cups though, I have learned that pretty isn't always the best way to go when choosing a menstrual cup. In fact, if I were to get another cup and I had my choice, I might actually go with a black cup. And the reason for that is that they can stain over time if you buy something really pretty like these clear Pixie cups, this teal or this white. If you don't clean them correctly, which the way to avoid staining is actually by using a cold water, cold, I wasn't sure what I wanted to say there. Actually using cool water first, and then if they do get staining, you can put them out in the sun to get rid of some of that staining. But you do have to worry about that with these options. Now this red probably isn't going to stain as much because blood is red, and you know, this is a thicker, darker color as well. But I have seen cups that actually come in a black option, which when I first started looking at cups before using them, I was like, oh. But now after using them and learning a lot more about them, I realized that the black probably is a pretty good option when it comes to functionality. The other thing when it comes to prettiness of the cup that I think is worth mentioning is that Hello Cup by far had the absolute cutest package that I have ever seen. I'm trying to find a way to use this. Maybe I'm gonna like put jewelry in it or use it something for traveling. I don't know. But this Hello packaging is seriously the cutest thing I have ever seen. So if you want to pick your disc or cup based on the cuteness of the package, definitely go with the Hello Cup. All of these cups are fine to be boiled in water, which actually kills a lot of germs. It's very simple. It's a little bit weird to boil menstrual products on the stove, but it is a very easy, cost-effective way to do things. The Moonthlies cups basically said just boil them. The Pixie cup said you could sterilize them in their sterilizer. That is sold separately. I didn't actually look up the cost of that, but that is an option. If you want to like keep everything in the bathroom and never have your cup get anywhere near your kitchen, maybe because you live in a house full of boys like I do and they have a lot of questions when you bring your Pixie cup or either menstrual cup into the kitchen. And then the Hello Cup actually said you could put it in with a quarter tablet of their sterilizing tablet. However, that was not included with the product, so you would have to buy that separately if you want to use something like that rather than actually boil them on the stove. I think there's going to be another video coming up soon just about exactly what that boiling process looks like and the things to be careful about and how long to do it for. And when I make that video, you'll see it linked above or in the comments below. But just know that you can boil these to clean them. Let's compare the user friendliness of these different devices next. First of all, let's talk about how much instruction is actually included with the product. And I really can't say that any of these products was better than the other. Every single one of these cups actually came with written and picture instructions of how to insert them, how to pull them out. It was very user friendly, so whether you are a visual person that likes pictures or you like to read words, all three of these had great instructions about how to use them, and there are also lots and lots of different resources on YouTube if you like to actually watch someone fold them. As far as how easy these products were to use, it kind of depends what you're looking for. When it comes to inserting and taking out the cup, I would have to say that the Pixie cup was probably the easiest cup to use because it actually has this toggle on the end that you could use to reach the cup, find where it was, pull it out. It's a little bit longer, so you didn't have to stick your fingers as far up in to get the cup in place. And it just overall was pretty easy to get in and out. And like I said, this was the very first product that I tried of these three and my very first experience with a menstrual cup, and I felt like this was pretty easy to use. Unfortunately, it just didn't stay where it was supposed to throughout the day, which could be a user error because if you don't have good suction, it can come down. But also the position of your cervix changes throughout the day. This is the part as a pelvic floor physical? This is the part as a pelvic floor physical therapist that I am thinking, okay, well, the problem is that throughout the day during your menstrual cycle, things get heavier, feel like they're falling out. And as that happens, unfortunately, the cup also felt like it was falling out, coming towards the opening throughout the day. So it didn't leak, but it started to feel like it was starting to come out. This Hello cup was on the spectrum of the cups that I tried harder to use because there is no toggle. So you really did have to get your fingers kind of up and in there to pinch it and break the suction and remove the cup. Now, if you are really comfortable sticking your fingers up there, it really wasn't any harder to pull it out than this Pixie cup was. If you're someone that's like, oh, I just don't really like being up in there, then having this toggle was really handy. Now, I will say that when you think about pulling on your cervix and your uterus, your internal organs, you want to break the suction first. So even though this has a toggle, you really don't want to just pull it out and pull down on your cervix. You really do need to pinch, break the suction, and then pull it out so that you're not pulling on your organs. I know something that was circulating for a while was that menstrual cups were actually causing prolapse. There has since been research and debunking of that myth that it does not cause prolapse. However, if you have some uterine prolapse in the sense of your pelvic floor muscles aren't holding everything up and in as they should be, and your uterus already wants to come down, any amount of pulling on it is just not going to be great. If we can avoid that, we're going to avoid that. The other thing you can do to try to reach your cup, some people suggest bearing down, and I should really just make a whole nother video about this because bearing down in the sense of like pushing everything out is not the greatest thing to do when you have any type of prolapse. So I think I'm going to make a video, and when I do, I'll link that above too. Man, I've got a lot of videos to make about these cups and the other things because we just don't want to be pulling on it, and there are actually ways around pulling on it to make it a better user experience, especially for us postpartum moms. Now, the most challenging, I guess, is supposed to be this disc. But to me, it didn't really feel like it was more challenging. It was just different. And maybe that's because I didn't have a lot of experience with the cup that I just didn't feel like the disc was that much different. With the disc, you're just pinching it. You're pushing it up in, you're pushing it with one finger once it gets going, but you have to actually reach in and hook it up under your pelvic bone, which seems like crazy, but really it just wasn't that crazy unless you have an aversion to having your fingers inside your body. In that case, this is definitely way more up in there and personal. I wouldn't say it was hard, it was just different and a lot more inside. When it comes to taking the cup out, the easiest to take out, the Hello cup and this Pixie cup were both a lot easier to take out if you had to do it in a public restroom, even though I I'm still not at the point where I feel like I could do this easily, but if you had to, these would be your better options because you pull them out, all the blood stays in the cup, you dump it, and then you move on. However, with this disc, unless you're like sitting way back, when you put your finger under there to pull this disc out, it just starts pouring out everywhere. Like as you tip it to pull it out, it just starts dumping. It's pretty messy. So even if you have a bathroom where the toilet isn't that close to the sink, even that could be a little bit challenging because it's by the time you get it out, it's just, this is really TMI, but I mean, that's what this video is all about, right? So it's pretty messy. So when you think about using a disc, and I've heard this with most discs, they are messier to take out. I've heard you can perfect it. I haven't used this enough to do that. Hopefully that would happen if I use it enough. But as a beginner, definitely these cups are going to be less messy when removing them. As far as comparing what these products are made out of, this Moonthlies disc is made out of a silicone, no latex, BPA-free material, according to the website. This Pixie cup is also a medical grade silicone. It said that it was a latex-free product. I did not see that it was BPA-free on the website, but it did say that it is hypoallergenic. And this Hello cup is actually the only one that said that it was not made out of a medical grade silicone. It's actually made out of a big word called thermoplastic elastomer. And if I am saying that totally wrong and you know how to say it, please go ahead and correct me in the comments below. It actually said that there is no rubber in this. It is latex free and BPA free according to the website. When it comes to the life expectancy of these products, the Moonthly product actually did not give a time frame for the life expectancy of these. It just said to make sure that you are inspecting it regularly, you're looking for breakdown, you're looking for holes, you're looking for anything that says the integrity of this product is no longer that good. The Hello cup actually said it could last at least 5 years. It didn't give, you know, a max timeline, but it did say at least 5 years. And I think again, you're just looking for the integrity of the cup. This does not have any thin spots like this disc does though. This bottom part here is pretty flexible, and so I'm guessing that could break down a little bit quicker than this Hello cup, which is actually pretty thick material. And then the Pixie cup actually said that it could last for anywhere from 5 years with a max life of 10 years. And I think again, you're just looking for the integrity of the cup. Is there breakdown? You certainly don't want any of the material, you know, being left inside your body. So when you see that the material is deteriorating, that's a good time to go ahead and pitch your old disc or cup and splurge on a new product for yourself, which in comparison to how much you would be spending on pads and tampons is still going to be a huge savings and a very cost-effective way to go. If you are a person that really likes to donate to a good cause and you buy products specifically according to what the company stands for, the different things I can tell you about these cups are that the Moonthlies cup is a rather new company. I didn't see anything on their website about donating to anyone or any specific causes at this point, although I wouldn't put it past them in the future to start doing something like that. I just think that the company is relatively new. The Pixie cup actually does donate 1 cup to someone in need every time you purchase a cup. There was no specifics about what organization they donate to, but it just said get a cup, give a cup. So they are donating 1 cup per every cup that you buy. And the Hello cup actually is a B certified corporation, which I'm not going to go into detail here, but basically means they've gone through a pretty rigorous program to be qualified as an organization that is known among other companies to basically be sustainable and just to be, you know, to be good people if a company were a person. So if you want to look into that and learn more, definitely do that. But I do know not just everyone can become a B corporation, so definitely some time invested and doing some good things to be able to qualify for that. The other thing was not every cup is going to guarantee that another cup is donated, but there were some specific cups. So they had a black cup that if you purchased was they would donate a percentage of every black cup that was sold to a nonprofit organization. And then there was also another cup, I think it was a red clam cup or something going on right now. Every time one of those cups were purchased, they would donate to another organization. And it didn't say what percentage or if it's like cup for cup, but it did have two different organizations that they were partnering with to try to get these reusable products into the hands of people that otherwise wouldn't be able to get a hold of them. As far as the website itself, the Moonthlies website was pretty basic. It had everything I needed to know there. They also have a store on Etsy and they sell these on Amazon. Pretty straightforward, but all the information that I needed was there. Again, it's a pretty new company, so maybe as they start, you know, having money to hire different people, that will be something that they improve on in the future. But like I said, everything was there that I needed to know. It's just that in comparison to the Pixie Cup website and especially the Hello website, these websites were a little more witty with jokes. Like on the Pixie website it said, like, you know, no strings attached, ha ha ha, and things like that. And the Hello Cup was an extremely hilarious website. They even had an option to be able to put in what you like to call your vagina, and it would then refer to your vagina as that throughout the website. So definitely some creative things going on to make a really user-friendly experience with both of these cups. And the other thing I looked at on the website was, do they help you decide which product to purchase? With the Moonthlies, they didn't really help you decide which to purchase. They just went ahead and send you both products. So you didn't have to decide, am I a small or am I a large? They just go ahead and send you both and you can try them out yourself. And honestly, this is probably the most accurate way to determine what size you need. So I thought it was really cool that I didn't have to justify spending money to buy two. It was just like, you pay this price and you get two. Now, both the Pixie website and the Hello Cup website included quizzes on their websites that would help you determine which cup that you should purchase. They had several options, small, medium, large, as well as low cervix option versus a high cervix option. And so you could take that quiz and find out what size you needed. I will say that for all of them, for both of these quizzes though, you do need to know where your cervix is. So if you don't know the position of your cervix, the quiz isn't actually going to be that helpful for you, because that is probably the most important piece of information that they are going to use to help you pick a cup that fits you. As far as size options that are available once you determine what size you need, as I've already kind of mentioned, the Moonthlies cup has a small and a large cup that they offer, and the Pixie cup actually has 4 different options. They have the classic, which is not what I'm holding. They have the classic for a higher cervix and a small and a large, and then they have this Lux, I'm not sure. Please, somebody from Pixie Cup write in the comments how I'm supposed to pronounce that. But they have a large and a small in the lower cervix option, and then a large and a small in the normal or higher cervix option. And then this Hello Cup actually had 5 different options. They had an extra small, a small, medium, and large, and then they had this low cervix option, which does not include a stem and is just a little bit shorter than the other options. Definitely lots of variety on both the Pixie and the Hello Cup sites, which is great, but also really important then that you know what's going on inside your body so that you can pick the right size for you at this time. As far as the wear time for these products, they were all very equal in that aspect. All of these said that you could wear these for 12 hours, and I was trying to look up why the 12-hour mark, and it does sound like there is a very, very small risk for toxic shock syndrome, and it is for that reason that they want you to change these every 12 hours, to take them out and to wash them with warm water or use a very mild soap on them, but they do want you to take them out and empty them every 12 hours, which especially at the beginning of your cycle, well, for most of us, I don't think you could wear it more than 12 hours without having to empty it, just for like how much it can hold. But anyways, I did find it really interesting. This Hello Cup actually said if you live in Australia, you can only wear this for 8 hours, but everyone else can wear it for 12 hours. So there must be some type of a regulation in Australia, which if you're from Australia or you know what that reason is, I would love to hear it in the comments below. I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, so I guess they can only wear cups for 8 hours in Australia, but longer than the time allotted for most tampons, which is the 8-hour mark, because after 8 hours you are then at risk for toxic shock syndrome. And the last thing worth mentioning in this review is, can you or can you not have sex with these different cups in? And the Pixie cup and the Hello cup, no, you cannot have sex with them in. The disc, however, you can have sex with them in. And I did not try that. When I get brave enough to try that, maybe brave isn't the right word, like motivated, I don't know, I'm just not really feeling into it usually on my period. But when I do try that, if I do try that, I will definitely be making a video about that. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that when I do that, you will know that that is coming your way. Let's go ahead and finish up with the best and the worst things about each cup so that hopefully you can make a solid decision when you go to purchase your cup. And let's start with the Hello cup. This was probably my favorite product that I used so far. And the thing I liked about this was that it was so comfortable. I didn't even feel it in at all. It never felt like it was falling out. I didn't have any leaking with it. And I just overall thought it did a really good job considering where my cervix is at this point. I worked out in it, I rode bikes in it, I was on my feet in it, and I thought it was really awesome. The worst part about this one is that it's the most expensive product, and it only comes in one option. So there isn't like a big and a small for a low cervix, or, you know, different color options. It's just, this is what it is. So that is probably the downside of it. And like I said, it is the most expensive of the 3 options when you consider like the price of just one product. My second favorite product that I purchased was this Moonthlies. And I think I will really, really love this more and more the more that I use it, because I've heard there's a pretty steep learning curve with this product. The things I liked the best about this monthly disc were that it was so easy to get in and where I needed it, and I never felt like it was in there at all. Like I couldn't feel it. Just like with the Hello cup, once it was in, it was just like I never had to think about it again. Once again, I worked out in it, I rode bikes in it, I carried my kids around in it, and it was great. And also the cost of this, the fact that you get 2 and you don't have to know your size, you just get 2 for the cost of only $28.95. That is a really good deal for these. And the third thing that I really loved about these is I had a question because I'd never used discs before, and they did this really crazy thing where when I peed, it actually just like started like pouring everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I do wrong? And so I messaged the creator of these Moonthlies product, and she messaged me back right away and was like, oh, that's a normal thing, here's like a video to reference of why that happens, and totally answered my question. And I was like, oh, it was like a user error, or like me just not knowing how the product worked. So the customer service was top notch with this company. The downside of these discs, again, are that they're really messy. If you have to change this in public, it's rough. I mean, even in my own bathroom, I was like, oh shoot, like I dripped on the floor trying to get it, you know, from the toilet to the sink and whatever. So just really messy. I'm hoping the more that I use it, the better it gets. But for now, that is definitely the downside. And then the other thing is just like the learning curve for it, because it's so different than the cups. There's definitely like one time I thought I had it up high enough, like hooked under my pubic bone, and then it started leaking, and I realized that no, it wasn't. It was up there, but it wasn't up there good enough. Anyways, so there's a little bit more of a learning curve, but I think that's with any disc in general. But I've heard once you get to use these are really awesome. And also there's no, I forgot to say this is like one of the best pros about these. There's no suction to your cervix. So if you're worried about prolapse getting worse or pulling on your cervix when you remove the product, that doesn't happen with this because it's not using suction to stay in place. So this is a really amazing option if you are worried about your prolapse, or you just want to make sure you're not taking any risk about making prolapse worse with a menstrual cup. And then the third one, which again was a great product, during the end of my cycle in my lighter days, I really did like the way this Pixie cup worked. In fact, it was, like I said, the first cup that I used, and I I still continued to use them because I felt like, oh, this is still way better than using tampons or pads. The pros about this are that they come in different color options and different size options. Even for a low cervix, there were 2 different sizes, like a little bigger one, and a little bit smaller one, and then different colors, like I said. And the other great thing about these is the price point is really good. To be able to try 2 of these products for a pretty low price of $34.95. That's really great. There were a lot of values about the company. The fact that they're giving away a cup every time they sell a cup, I mean, that is amazing for a company to do. And finally, their money back guarantee. Like, you can use these and they'll still give you your money back, which is just unheard of and amazing and says a lot about them as a company. And finally, the cons about these were that I just felt like with my low cervix, it really, with this stem, which again could be cut off and modified, it seemed to want to fall out as the day went on, as the position of my cervix got lower, and it just felt a little more uncomfortable. It didn't leak, it just wasn't as comfortable for me. So that was really the one con about this product. If you would be so kind, if you do decide to purchase one of these products, if you could use one of the links in my description below, that would be so helpful for me. I am not sponsored by or an affiliate yet, although I'm trying to become an affiliate with the Moonthlies product. But before purchasing and trying these products, I was not affiliated with any of these products. And so I purchased them out of my own money because I wanted to be able to give you guys an honest review of what I thought about them. But if you do use one of my links below, just by purchasing on Amazon, I do make a very small commission, and it really helps me out and helps me be able to make videos like this in the future. So if you would be so kind, that would be amazing. I've mentioned prolapse in this video a lot, and if you actually have prolapse, I want you to check out this video up here. I can give you a lot of information about the different types of prolapse and some of the things that you can do if you have prolapse, or how you can manage prolapse in this postpartum period. So I think you'll find that really helpful. I would love for you to head there next.